It was a June morning. The famous businessman Desmond Gray, CEO of one of the world's largest technology companies, was traveling to Europe on an intensive business trip. He had a reservation at the St. Clair's Hotel, one of the best hotels on the continent. It was in the center of London, steeped in history and home to the rich and famous. When Desmond arrived at the hotel, the large gold-embroidered doors slowly opened, and Desmond made his way to the reception desk. In his dark suit, expensive wristwatch, and confident bearing, he faced the receptionist. She was white and elegant, but there was a coldness and arrogance in her eyes towards Desmond. "Hello?" Desmond said gently but firmly. "I have a reservation for Gray." The receptionist's face broke into a forced smile upon hearing his name. She looked at the computer screen, but quickly frowned and then looked at Desmond. "I'm sorry, Mr. Gray, but I don't see your reservation here." Desmond looked at her, puzzled. "How does it not look? I made my reservations weeks in advance, booked a private suite." The smile faded from her face. "This hotel is very selective, Mr. Gray. We're sorry, but we don't have anything for you." Desmond understood what she was trying to explain. "Isn't it because of my color?" The woman looked away in surprise for a moment, but then replied with professional composure, "Mr. Gray, please don't think that. But as per our hotel's policies, I'm sorry I can't help you." The surprise and anger on Desmond's face gave way to deep disappointment. All these years he had faced racism in America, in Europe, in the business world, but this was a step beyond that. Being denied entry to this hotel was the latest in a long line of prejudices he had witnessed throughout his career. "You won't let me stay in your hotel because I'm black," Desmond repeated, looking towards the receptionist. At that moment, a white man, whom he recognized as the hotel manager, approached them. He tried to keep his composure, thinking that Desmond was probably going to file a complaint. "Mr. Gray, you misunderstand the situation," the manager said. "This is a very elite hotel, and we cater to a certain clientele. I hope you don't misunderstand any further. This is not the place for you." Desmond controlled his anger and took a deep breath. "I understand," he said in a low voice. "But this isn't over." Desmond promised himself as he left. One day he would buy this hotel. A year passed. Desmond had quietly followed the board of directors of St. Clair's Hotel, strategically buying shares. When the former owner was forced to sell the hotel, Desmond used all his financial power and wealth to buy it. Investors couldn't understand why he made this decision, but Desmond had a purpose. When the day came, Desmond returned to the hotel, this time with an army of lawyers and the media behind him. The same receptionist and hotel manager greeted him at the hotel door. When they recognized Desmond, there was a look of surprise in their eyes. "Mr. Gray, it's a surprise to see you here again," she said, with fear and surprise in her eyes. Desmond looked at her with a cold smile. "I am now the new owner of this hotel," he said in a calm but firm tone. The manager and the receptionist were stunned. Desmond continued, "I am dismantling the racist policies of this hotel. From now on, everyone will be served here equally." Everyone in the hotel stood in silence before Desmond. No one dared to remember that such a powerful man had been turned away a year ago simply because of the color of his skin. But Desmond had never forgotten this discrimination. He avenged every moment, but not only for himself. It was a sign of victory for the black employees who were forced to work in the hotel, for the people who were excluded, for all those who were denied equal rights in society. Desmond made his way inside, and as the door closed behind him, he was relieved to know that there would be no more discrimination in this hotel. As Desmond made his way through the hotel's grand marble lobby, all eyes were on him. The manager and the receptionist tried to stop him, but there was nothing they could do now that he was the new owner of the hotel. While the members of the media were waiting at the door of the hotel, everyone in the hotel was gathering to watch Desmond's press conference. Desmond walked into the large meeting room in the center of the hotel. Previously used only for private events for the rich and privileged whites, it was now being transformed into a place where justice was being served. Desmond took the podium, pulled the microphone in front of him, and began to speak about the hotel. "I came to this hotel a year ago," he began as everyone in the room listened in silence. I was denied accommodation here simply because of the color of my skin. The discrimination I experienced that day was just one example of the thousands of similar problems faced by the staff and guests of this hotel. Today, as the new owner of this hotel, I am making a change here." Desmond's voice was calm but firm. After a few seconds of silence, he turned his gaze to the crowd in the hall. "St. Clair's Hotel will be a place where everyone will be welcomed equally. Black, white, Asian, Latino. No matter what your background, everyone will receive the same service here." At these words, the crowd in the room began to applaud, but the former hotel manager and the receptionist, who were sitting in the back row, looked at each other in surprise and anger. Desmond noticed them out of the corner of his eye, and a small smile appeared on his face. These people understood that they no longer had their old privileges. "This hotel will not become a center of discrimination and racism," Desmond addressed them. "We will not exclude anyone here. We will not look down on anyone. This is not something that is unique to one hotel. This is how the whole community should behave." Desmond's words echoed throughout the hall. The anger and frustration he had felt a year ago when he had walked into the hotel had been replaced by a sense of triumph. But this victory was not just for him. It was a victory for all those who had been excluded, despised, oppressed, and voiceless. After the meeting, an announcement was made to the hotel staff informing them of the new management policy. Desmond's first order of business was to dismiss the old manager and receptionist. They were replaced by a management team that was more inclusive, fair, and respectful of diversity. When Desmond checked out of the hotel, there was a look of satisfaction on his face. He was no longer just a black man. He was now a leader of justice. He made a brief statement to the members of the media who turned to look at him as he walked out the front door of the hotel. "This is just the beginning. We will fight racism in all areas, because equality is everyone's right." As Desmond said goodbye to the hotel, he felt a great sense of peace, because today he had taken a big step towards a better world order, not just for himself, but for everyone. The barriers created by racism were being broken down one by one. As Desmond left the hotel, a growing sense of peace enveloped him. But this peace was the taste of victory. His mind flashed back to a year ago when he had arrived at this hotel and been turned away at the door. The anger that had filled him then was now replaced by a deep satisfaction. The steps she had taken were not just personal revenge, but a beacon of light for all those who had been discriminated against. When he walked outside the hotel, the media were still there. When the cameras turned on Desmond, he turned to them and made a final statement. "Today we see the beginning of a change, not just in this hotel, but in society. Fighting racism is not an easy task, but I will never give up until I win this fight. Every person has the right to be treated equally, and no one has the right to deny that right." Desmond's determined voice resonated as a beacon of hope in everyone there. He was no longer just a businessman, but a leader transforming society, and this transformation would not be limited to this hotel. As Desmond got into his car and drove off, he knew that he would never look back and return to an old world. Wherever he went in the world, he would leave his mark on people not only through his business success, but also through his contribution to society. He had overcome years of racism. Now he would share this victory and work to ensure that more people could live in a free and equal world. From now on, St. Clair's Hotel would be a place where people of all backgrounds and colors, not just the rich and privileged, could step freely. And Desmond Gray would be remembered as the force behind this change. And so the story ends, showing how one man standing against discrimination with patience and determination made a huge difference. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Press the like button and leave your comments in the comments section so that we can meet in the next stories. See you in the next video. Bye!